Immigration has shaped the United States from the earliest days, changing its cities, economy, politics, and culture. Today we'll run through the 10 largest immigrant origin groups from the modern era and explain who they are, how many live in the U.S. around 2023-2025, and the economic, demographic, and political impacts they've had. Let's go. Number 1 is Mexico, by far the largest immigrant group in modern times. Mexican migration to the U.S. surged in the 20th century and peaked in the late 20th, early 21st centuries. Economically, Mexican immigrants supply large numbers of workers in agriculture, construction, hospitality, and services, sectors that rely on both seasonal and long-term labor. Demographically, Mexican migration reshaped states like California, Texas, and Arizona, fueling population growth in both cities and rural areas. Politically, Mexican and Mexican-American communities have become a major voting bloc and civic presence, driving debates about immigration policy, labor, and bilingual education. Socially and for development, Mexican immigrants have boosted small business formation and remittances, while also spurring debates about integration and cross-border cooperation. India is now among the top sources of immigration. Many Indian immigrants arrived through family, professional visas, and the H-1B tech pipeline. Economically, they're notable for high educational attainment and concentration in STEM, medicine, and tech, contributing to innovation, entrepreneurship, and high-skill labor markets. Population-wise, Indian Americans have strengthened Asian American communities in metro areas like the Bay Area, New York, and Houston. Politically, Indian origin voters and civic organizations have grown more visible and influential on issues ranging from education to foreign policy. Their impact on U.S. development includes high rates of small business creation and investment into education and health sectors. China is another top origin country. Chinese immigrants arrived in waves, earlier in the 19th, early 20th centuries, railroads, gold rush, and then highly skilled students and professionals later. Economically, they contribute across academia, tech, small business, and international trade. Population shifts include strong Chinese communities in coastal and urban centers. Politically, Chinese American communities have become active around education, immigration reform, and U.S.-China relations. There are also complex diplomatic and security conversations tied to migration and talent flows. Filipino immigrants have been a major presence for decades, especially in nursing, healthcare, military service, and the hospitality sector. The Philippines has strong historical ties to the U.S., and many Filipinos entered through family reunification and professional pathways. Economically, Filipino professionals, notably nurses and healthcare workers, are essential to hospitals and care systems. Demographically, large Filipino communities in California, Hawaii, and the East Coast shape urban neighborhoods. Politically, Filipino Americans have been active on immigrant rights, veterans issues, and local races. Their development impact includes trans-Pacific family networks and remittances that tie economies together. Cuban migration to the U.S. is historically distinct. Large waves followed the 1959 revolution and continued politically motivated flows and family migration. Cuban Americans have been particularly influential politically in Florida and national politics, often mobilized around democracy and human rights issues. Economically, Cuban immigrants began as refugees, and many later became entrepreneurs, contributing to small business growth in Miami and beyond. Their political weight in swing state Florida makes Cuban immigration a recurring theme in national elections. Dominican immigrants are concentrated in the Northeast, New York City in particular, transforming neighborhoods, music, cuisine, and politics. Economically, Dominican immigrants contribute to construction, retail, transportation, and service industries, and also form many small businesses. On the political front, Dominican American civic organizations have grown, and local leaders have increasingly held elected offices. Their social contributions include vibrant cultural influence, music, festivals, and strong transnational family ties. El Salvador is a major Central American source of U.S. immigrants, especially since the late 20th century when civil war and instability drove migration. Economically, Salvadoran immigrants work across services, construction, and small business sectors. Demographically, they've concentrated in California, Texas, and the DC-New York corridors. Politically, Salvadoran Americans raise issues around asylum, family reunification, and foreign policy towards Central America. Their communities have helped revitalize neighborhoods and established robust mutual aid and remittance networks back home. Post-1975 refugee flows established large Vietnamese American communities in California and Texas. Economically, Vietnamese entrepreneurs are prominent in small business sectors, restaurants, grocery, trades, and increasingly tech and professional fields. Demographically, they shaped suburban growth patterns in certain metro areas. Politically, Vietnamese American voters have unique civic priorities shaped by refugee histories, U.S.-Vietnam relations, and local community needs. Guatemalan immigrants, like other Central American groups, grew significantly in the late 20th and early 21st centuries. Economically, they fill roles in agriculture, construction, manufacturing, and services. Demographically, they've expanded Latino populations in many metro and suburban areas. Politically, Guatemalan and broader Central American communities increasingly participate in local and state politics, and their migration has highlighted regional issues like violence, governance, and climate impacts that drive displacement. Korean immigration has roots in the late 20th century with students, professionals, and family migrants. Economically, Korean Americans are known for small business networks, restaurants, retail, and increasing presence in professional sectors. Demographically, they formed influential suburban communities, e.g., parts of Los Angeles, New Jersey. Politically, Korean American civic groups have become more engaged, especially around business, education, and U.S.-Asia relations. That's the quick top 10 list in recent decades. Now let's step back and look at the long arc from 1900 to today. In 1900, the foreign-born U.S. population looked very different. Most immigrants came from Europe. England, Germany, Ireland, Italy, and Scandinavia were dominant sources. Large waves of European migration built the industrial workforce and urban neighborhoods of the early 20th century. Over the 20th century, the origin shifted. Restrictive laws in the 1920s slowed migration, mid-century refugee flows added new communities, and post-1965 immigration reforms opened the door to Asians and Latin Americans. By the late 20th and early 21st centuries, the majority of new immigrants were from Latin America and Asia, not Europe. To wrap up, the U.S. story of immigration is a story of constant change. In 1900, it was European migration building industrial cities. By 2025, the largest groups come from Mexico, India, China, the Philippines, and many countries across Latin America and Asia. Each group brought labor, culture, politics, and institutions that helped shape the modern United States. If you'd like, I can make a follow-up video diving deeper into any single group's history. For example, Mexican migration policies, Indian high-skill migration, and the H-1B story, or the history of Cuban arrivals to Florida. Which one should I cover next? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Tell me which immigrant story you want explored next.